Welcome to the 20th annual Blue Jean Ball, everybody. Tonight we are celebrating Sherwood Forest and the exciting return to camp this summer. We are coming directly to you once again via Facebook and YouTube Live from Spot Content Studio. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the way many of us interact, how we gather, and how area nonprofits have served St. Louisans this past year. And you know what? Sherwood Forest has been no different. The staff and the board of directors have had to dig deep and transform programs to virtually serve more than 300 campers and the Supports for Success participants this past year. And they were able to do this because of you, our wonderful friends and supporters. Over the past year, you have called, you have emailed, and you have sent funds. You have cheered from the sidelines, and you have delivered camp-in-a-box packages. You have planned and you have ensured that the children of Sherwood Forest remain connected to our organization, to nature, and most importantly, during this pandemic, they were able to stay connected to each other. But tonight is about celebration and looking forward, because the camp will once again open up to the sounds of children learning and laughing, and we can make all of this happen thanks to generous donors like you. So sit back and relax. The Blue Jean Ball Committee has planned a very entertaining evening for you. In the next hour, we will talk to campers and staff and see the majestic camp. We also want to see your pictures from home. So post your party in place pictures to our social media platforms using that hashtag BJB2021. Okay, now, my friend and colleague, Hattie Gauss, went to Lesterville, Missouri a little early this year to check out all the things going on at Sherwood Forest.
Rennie, I gotta tell you, you are missing out. I just got here and I'm already amazed. Now this is Tango Tower. This is Addie Bond, the interim executive director. Let's start with this thing. I mean, it kind of looks like you guys brought American Ninja Warrior to camp.
That's exactly right, Heidi. We had to find a way to allow our kids an opportunity to try some new things, and the Tango Tower really gives them that opportunity. I mean, how many times have you watched American Ninja Warrior and thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could try this?
Yes.
Well, here at Sherwood Forest, our kids get the opportunity to try it.
So how many ways can you get to the top? And the top is 45 feet up in the air?
45 feet to the top. There are at least 12 different ways to climb to the top on this apparatus. There are, you can go up a climbing wall, you can go up the fireman's pole, you can go up what we call the tater tots. Those tater tots, they spin when you're trying to climb up them. There's the giant's ladder, there's the pirate's net, everything. You can get to the top a multitude of ways. Some of these elements actually require that you climb with a partner so that you can learn to work together. So like if you and I were gonna go up right here, if you notice that this giant's ladder, they get further and further apart the higher and higher you get. So you and I have to be in constant communication with each other. We have to work together. The first step, we can do it on our own. But by the time we get to that top, we can't get to the top unless we do it together.
So this is more than just fun.
Oh, way more than just fun. It's an opportunity for the kids to try something new, to do something they've never gotten to experience before, to learn to work together in teamwork, whether it's with their belay partner who's belaying them up or down the tower, whether it's their climbing partner. And the goal is always go one step further than you went before. That's always what we're working on.
So kids might not make it to the top the first year, but then they have a goal for next year.
Absolutely. Our goal at Sherwood Forest is that kids get to come back year after year after year and be here from the time they complete first grade all the way through completion of 9th grade. We want them to come back year after year, and every year, if they want to climb the tower, we want them to go one step further. What did you do last year? I made it to the top of the ladder. Great. Next year after that, I want you to go one step further. Can you get on the wire? Can you get up to the first step of the giant's ladder or the pirate's rope? What can you do to get that step further? All the way until you get to the top. And when you sit at that top, you can see out over the lake, you can see the amazing views, you can see everything. And if we are equipped, you can also zip, which means that you get your opportunity to zip line right down the tower.
So what is it like to see a kid who has gone that extra step and their excitement?
I can't even describe it. What's amazing is that as someone who works here, I get to experience it. But what's really amazing is hearing the kids tell their own story about it. When they get to say, I went one step further, I made it, did you see me? When they get to hold up and celebrate whatever they accomplish. So another place we do this is down at the pool, right? So we want kids to learn to swim at Sherwood Forest. And the way that you do that is that hopefully you learn enough to swim to get what's called your red band, which means you get to swim in the deep end. And so when kids get their red band, we celebrate with them. We celebrate in the dining hall. We talk about the kids who've gone that one step further, whether it's on the tower or at the pool. We want to celebrate all those experiences those kids get to have at Sherwood Forest.
So you mentioned the tower, we mentioned the pool. How else do you serve these campers?
So, you know, when you think about traditional summer camp, we try every way possible to make this just like what the kids might have seen in the movies or heard about. Outdoor experiences, getting to go on overnight trips, living in the wilderness, learning how to build fires, learning how to interact with nature and take care of nature and, you know, take care of the plants and the animals and learning about animal habitats. Where do the animals live? All the way to art programs, theater programs. We run every summer. The kids are here for 4 weeks. And they get to put on a play. Now, the boys usually do a one-act play or something like that, but the girls for the last many years have done musicals.
Of course they have.
Of course, because they love to sing and dance. So what happens with that is that our oldest campers actually design the set, do the costuming, and put the kids together for all of that. And they get to run the show. They literally run the show. And the other campers get to apply to be the actors and try out and do all of that stuff. So everything you can think of, we try to incorporate it into Sherwood Forest.
Now, I know that it's been a crazy year, and we both have been vaccinated.
Yes.
So that is good.
Yes.
Let's talk about what camp usually looks like and then how you've had to adjust.
Sure. So normally in a typical summer, we would run 2 sessions. We'd run 2 4-week sessions. In June, we would have boys come. In July, we would have girls come. This year, it's going to be a little different. Our goal is for the first 2 weeks, we are going to live in a bubble. We're going to mask up. Your cabin group is going to become your family. And when your family interacts with another family, you mask up. But other times when you're with your family, you can take your mask off. You can be around your family comfortably. And so you can live in your cabin, you can eat your meals, those kind of things will be a little more typical. After those 2 weeks, if we have no COVID at camp, now that's a big if, and I'm keeping that if in there, then we will be able to allow our campers to unmask in a slightly larger group, so maybe interacting with their village. And then hopefully by the last 2 weeks, they can run camp like normal, a more typical summer for these kids. Now, big ifs are in there.
Yeah,
because,
fingers crossed, right?
We can't guarantee that COVID isn't going to come to camp this summer, but we're going to be prepared. Later, I hope I can give you a tour of our health lodge because that's where we're going to be prepared. If somebody, a staff member, a camper, somebody gets COVID, we're going to be ready for it because we want to be able to give these kids the best summer they can have.
So you guys might have seen Flex wandering around. He is here year-round. Flex, you ready to show us around? Where are we going next? Come on, Flex. Oh, you're so good.
I cannot wait to see where Flex takes them next. But before we leave this, we want to go back to Tango Tower. Rachel, the camp director, she slapped one of those GoPros on top of her helmet and decided to give the zip line a try. Let's ride along with her right now as she takes us through the trees 45 feet high up in the air. This is something for the people who are certainly the thrill seekers out there. Not just anybody is ready to do this. Are you kidding me? Watch out for the tree. Oh, this is something that should be at Six Flags. Wow, that is exhilarating. And I'm sitting here in a chair. My goodness. Man, the kids are going to have a great time. They're going to have a great time. And it sounds like they have a great plan for the kiddos at camp this summer. Sherwood Forest connects with, educates, and inspires the youth of St. Louis. And in doing so, it helps kids discover the best in themselves so they can grow up to do good in this world. But they cannot do this alone. You can donate online right now at the link below that's on your screen or by calling Connie and Lauren at the Sherwood Forest office. The number is 314-644-3322. If you cannot give tonight, consider making a pledge for this year. Connie and Lauren can help you when you make that phone call. Now it's time to hear from a camper who can't wait to return this summer and what Sherwood Forest means to her.
My first memories were when I came to camp where I made a lot of friends and I learned how to do things that I didn't even know how to do, like make a fire and learn how to make more friends and make some crafts. And it's just been so much fun to learn how to do that. When we found out last year that we weren't going to be able to go to camp, I was so devastated. I cried. I wanted to go. But when I found out we were going this year, I was so excited. And even though that we couldn't go last year, I was super excited that we could go this year. My friends at camp, even though they have different backgrounds from me, they are still my friends. I learn a lot from them. For example, let's say they knew how to make Chinese rice and I don't. They taught me how to make it, and I love that because I love Chinese rice. Another experience I love at camp is hiking. I love to see the flowers and see things that I never would have seen at my house before. And looking at all these things, like for example, hiking by Buder Lake, it's fun because you can see all these flowers and all these trees that are just so beautiful. One of the things I've learned at camp is to make a fire. For example, how to put the sticks in a certain way and how to not burn yourself and do it carefully. It's really fun. And when I got there, I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this. But then I was like, I can totally do this. I think you should donate to Sherwood because these experiences are far beyond fun. They are amazing. And getting to see my friends every year, it's the best part of my summer.
Oh man, doesn't it just touch your heart? So much passion from a third grader. It's so awesome to hear perspective from the campers themselves. Now you can support campers just like Kayla by supporting Sherwood Forest tonight. Have you checked out the bench raffle? Take a look at this bench. Tonight is your last chance to get one. It's a one-of-a-kind bench made from reclaimed wood from the Sherwood Forest Camp in Lesterville, Missouri. Purchase your chances to win at the link below. Now, only 2 will be won tonight, so get your tickets as soon as possible. 1 ticket for $10 or 3 tickets for $25. I think that this will look great in someone's garden this summer. Winners will be chosen after the Blue Jean Ball tonight. Now, while you're doing that, let's go back and check in with Heidi and learn more about camp this summer and something the kids all care about, the great food.
Thanks, Rennie. Flex led us to where else? The dining hall. And I have to tell you, this is the most beautiful dining hall I have ever seen at a camp. Darnell Robinson is the operations manager. And tell me about this place. It's rather new.
Yes. So I think we had this dining hall for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it can fit about 300 people.
So that's your entire set of campers.
Yes. Yes, that's all of our campers. Actually, I was wrong. It can fit a little bit more than 300 people.
Darnell, you know, like when you sit down to eat, it's more than just the food. It's about connecting with each other. How does this place work when it comes to that?
Oh, well, the table is the best place to sit up there and have any type of conversation with your campers and counselors. It's a good time to get to know each other because then the campers will start asking the counselors all about their lives and there's just this back and forth exchange.
It gets real.
It gets real.
It's not just past the potatoes.
No, it's more than that. You really do become a family like at the end of the summer. While you're here, you might think like, oh my goodness, I just can't. But by the end of the summer, it's just like, oh, I'm definitely coming back next year to see you.
Okay, so I took a look at the kitchen and it is like a fine dining restaurant's kitchen. It's amazing. What kind of things are you guys cranking out of there?
Oh man, so I think the favorite thing that the kids like is pizza. Every kid likes pizza.
Every adult likes pizza.
Every adult likes pizza. So that is the all-time favorite. And cinnamon fresh toast sticks. Kids love those things, and they love anything that is sweet.
Yeah.
And since our kitchen is like huge now, we have like 3 walk-ins that allow us to keep more food. So at first we only had 1, and you had to order and order and order. Now it's just like, oh, we have a nice supply of it.
So do you guys actually serve the campers or do they have to help participate?
They definitely help participate. So there's a server who's at each table. That person gets up and they bring the food back to the table. But before that, the whole cabin group sits there, they set the table and they make sure that everything is ready for the meal.
And so the fork has to be on one side and the knife on the
Yes.
other, and they have to follow those rules?
Yes, so we have a little diagram that they go by, and it tells them where to put the cup, the plate, the spoon, the fork, the knife.
Oh, that might be something we should share with Rennie Knott, because his manners,
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. But you know what? There's some truth in all that. I could probably use a refresher course in manners. Now, I have a friend here via Zoom. This is Sienna. She is a Supports for Success participant. Sherwood Forest Supports for Success program prepares summer camp alumni for college and careers through job readiness training and mentoring for post-secondary success. Participants learn economic self-sufficiency, form community connections, and develop strategies for building healthy family and social relationships. Sienna, thank you so much for being with us. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you for asking. So just how old were you when you first started at Sherwood Forest?
I was about third grade, so about 8 or 9 when I started.
8 or 9. So you're going down to Sherwood Forest at the age of 8. What was that first experience like?
It was very scary at first. It was my first time being away from home. But once I got there, I was happy, I was excited, and I actually cried because I didn't want to leave.
You cried going and cried coming back, I take it.
Yes.
Well, what kept you coming back summer after summer?
I think it was the staff, the bond that you make with the staff and the kids that are there that keeps you coming back. It's like, I want to know if you're coming back because I want to come back. It's type of relationship that is developed. So I think that was really what kept me going.
Now, as you got older with going to the camp, did you feel like you had to be a role model to the younger kids?
Definitely. And Sherwood definitely gave me the opportunity to. I was able to be a counselor in training, which meant every afternoon I would go down to the little kids' cabin and help them get ready for bed. So I was definitely a leader within the camp.
You probably had to wipe away a few tears from the little ones?
Oh, yeah. And snot.
How has Supports for Success changed during COVID-19?
It's hard, but it's definitely nice to be able to still keep in contact with my leaders and my mentors, even via Zoom. You know, I'll get a text every now and then or an email, and it's really nice for them to keep in contact despite everything going on.
Well, how has Sherwood Forest influenced your life?
It has led me to work with children. Being able to be a leader to the younger kids has given me a passion to work with kids now. I currently coach gymnastics, but in my long-term goal, I plan to be a pediatric occupational therapist. So, yeah.
Wow. So how is Sherwood Forest preparing you for that next step as an adult?
I was given the chance to visit colleges, which kind of piqued my interest in what I wanted to do. And then the next step was applying for scholarships and everything. And Sherwood was really, there for me, pushing me and making sure I was on to the next goal and the next target. So they really have helped, and finding internships and such. It's been really nice.
Well, Sienna, as you know, tonight is about fundraising and getting more opportunities for more kids in the St. Louis area to get down there to Sherwood Forest. So I want you right now to be my spokesperson. How would you convince the people out there to give to make sure that there's other kids getting that same opportunity that you have received from Sherwood Forest?
Sherwood has given me many opportunities, and I know that by giving, you'll be giving another child an opportunity, the same opportunity that I was given. I never regretted my decision going to Sherwood, and I always tell people, it's the best place to be. So I do support giving, because not only will it benefit you, knowing that you've given back, but you're helping so many other children be able to go and do the things that they've always wished or hoped to do.
Well said. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Sienna. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
Camp during a pandemic is quite the undertaking, but Sherwood Forest is up to the task thanks to donors of the Way More Than Camp Capital campaign. In 2019, construction was completed on the Comfort Health Lodge, and Heidi is there to tell us more about how Sherwood Forest plans to safely run camp this summer.
So, Addie, you mentioned the Comfort Health Lodge, and this is it. This is way more than just a first aid kit.
That's absolutely right. So when our kids come here, we want to make sure that we can take care of any health needs they might have, right? So many of our kids have only ever visited an ER. They may not have had a primary care physician or a doctor to really care for them. And so we want to make sure they have comfort in their health care, that they know how to take care of themselves, that if they get a cut or a blister or a Band-Aid or anything, we are prepared to help them take care of that. We may have kids with asthma or allergies who need a little more care in the health lodge or something along those lines, but that's what this building exists for, is so our nurses can be here when our kids need them.
So do you have a lot of sick kids at camp?
Not typically. I mean, camp is a pretty comfortable place, you know, but every so often kids are swimming here. They may get an ear infection, they may get a cold, they may get an upset stomach. A lot of times kids want to come in the health lodge. One, it's air conditioned.
Let's
be honest. Like that, yeah. They need a place to cool off. Most of the time it is like a homesick issue. They really need a hug. So at Sherwood Forest, I don't think we've mentioned this to you yet, but we have a behavioral health and mental health program as well that we work with our kids. And so this is also a place where a specialist could also come and talk to a kid who may be having some behavioral challenges and not necessarily knowing how to live in a group environment when they're living with other kids and interacting. Or maybe they just miss home and need an extra hug. This is a safe space for those kids to be. So we also have a place here if we do have kids that get sick. We have a 6-bed ward and we have 2 isolation rooms in here that we were able to build. So our goal long term is to be able to make sure that we could constantly serve 300 people, whether it's 300 people in the summer or, you know, at any point we could bring 300 people in. That means we want to make sure we have enough beds. If somebody does get sick, we have a place for them to stay.
And is this building brand new? Is this the first summer that kids will see it?
We actually did get to use it in 2019. Of course, we didn't get to use it last year, but this will be the 2nd year it's used. So now we really know how to use it. We know what cupboards we want things in. We know what drawers things need to be in. We are going to be able to live here this year.
Awesome.
If you have ever attended the Blue Jean Ball in the past, you know that we typically see 300 of Sherwood Forest's closest friends enjoying an evening of food and festivities. Now, COVID-19 has once again changed that this year. So we invite you to share how you are celebrating the Blue Jean Ball by sharing your videos, your pictures, your messages to Sherwood Forest Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media platforms with the hashtag BJB2021. And please, keep those pictures coming. We can't wait to see, hopefully, all of you guys in person next year. The campers at Sherwood Forest succeeded their programs because they return every summer for camp. Starting following 1st grade and continuing through post-secondary education, many consider Sherwood Forest a second home and the friends and adults they see every year as their camp family. But our next guest serves Sherwood Forest now as a leader and as a volunteer. Let's hear from her now on how Sherwood Forest has changed her life.
I think Sherwood Forest is vital to the St. Louis area because I think about Sherwood Forest, their reach in terms of being a tree that has roots. Sherwood Forest started as a small camp and they have planted roots all throughout the St. Louis area, and that has grown. When you think about a tree, you think about the branches, you think about their reach, you think about all the campers and students and schools and lives that it has touched, and you think about all the different opportunities that it is given to campers to leave their environment for the summer and have a home away from home. You think about the different opportunities in terms of access that they have. They're able to travel the country with their peers and be exposed to other camps, be exposed to colleges and universities. Or do you think about the reach that Sherwood has when we are helping our campers in their next step in life? So what is it life after high school? Is it college? Is it a trade? How can we help our campers in all different types of ways? So I have been a board member for almost 2.5 years. And what I love most about being a board member is how connected we still are to camp and how interactive we are with all the different program staff and of course the campers. We get to go to camp, we get to see firsthand what the hard work our program staff is doing and what our donors have done for our campers. And then we just really get to be involved. And that is what I love most about being a board member, all of the tangible moments that we get and see the hard work from what our donors have done for camp. My personal connection with Sherwood starts back when, like in 1982, when my mom, who is also an alumni of the camp, used to work at camp, and she brought me every summer when I was 2, and so I spent summers there. I went through the leadership program as well, and then I also worked at camp too. So camp for me means so many things, and I now have a 9-year-old that will get to go back to camp this summer. So to me, it means that multi-generational piece, and it means really camp being able to touch all facets of life. And when we talk about leadership, it really taught me how to be a leader, number one. What does that mean? So are there times where it's time for me to step up? Are there times where it's time for me to sit back and really have people delegate to me and be okay with that? And then it also taught me in terms of character that we're going to meet people from all facets and all different types of identities, and we're going to need to work together in some way, shape, or form, whether it's putting up this tent, whether it's making s'mores, or canoeing on the river, which is you need teamwork on the river. So it really taught me how to communicate with another person, and it really taught me a lot about myself. What are my strengths? What are my areas of practice that I can now turn into a strength? So there are just so many ways, even at the dinner table, it taught me how to like eat as a family with other people that may have different households than me. So a lot of different things that it taught me personally, and then how to be a leader as well too. So it opens up all of these worlds and all of these doors. So they may not have known that I actually like being outside, or I can swim. I'm not afraid of the water, or I know how to build this teepee. I know how to make this fire. So then it opens up new job potentials and new possibilities for their life that is outside of the environment where they came from. So by giving and by donating, you are truly affecting a person's life and providing access and opportunities that they would never have in any way, shape, or form. And then the ripple effect that causes. So these kids are now growing up knowing that I like to be outside. I can build things. I can, I do enjoy reading. I do enjoy camping. And so then it's multi-generational. It becomes, we're breaking, those generational barriers and stereotypes for a lot of our campers and for a lot of our families that do live at or below poverty. It's just a huge breakthrough in terms of access and opportunity.
Thank you, Alexis. Wasn't that a powerful speech? Wasn't that something that really touched you to realize the opportunities that these kids are getting? I mean, they spend most of their lives on concrete, on asphalt, but now they're getting the opportunity to get up close and personal with Mother Nature and sink their hands into the dirt, touch trees, hear the birds. What a wonderful time. Well, now we want to take a moment and thank our wonderful sponsors for the evening. Our trio sponsor, Buckeye International. Our counselor sponsors, Alliance Credit Union, Bayer Designs, Commerce Bank, Lewis Rice, Midwest Regional Bank. Our campfire sponsors, Kerber, Eck, and Breckel, LLP, SF Shannon Management, Virtual IT. Our wine sponsors, Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits. Also, I want you guys to be sure to get those raffle tickets tonight. Do that before this evening's event is over. You don't want to miss a chance to take home that beautiful bench. Remember, 1 ticket for $10 or 3 tickets for $25. Winners will be chosen after the Blue Jean Ball tonight. Heidi is at another popular spot at the camp. Let's see where she's at right now.
So, Rennie, I think we might have saved the best for last. This is the Mac, and more importantly, this is Aaliyah Walls, who not only works here now, but you were a camper.
So actually, my mom also grew up at camp here, and then I had an older sister who came to camp, and then me and my twin sister came to camp at the age of 7. So I've been at Sherwood from 7. I'm 25 now. And I've spent every summer here, so it's just been great.
And now it's your full-time job. What is your official title?
So I have 2 titles. I'm the assistant camp director, as well as I'm the program coordinator. So throughout the year, I put on programs for our kids where we go, and I'll take them to the zoo or to the World Bird Sanctuary, and just try to engage them in different activities in St. Louis. And then during the summer, I get to come down and be the assistant camp director and kind of help run camp as in like an administration role.
So what does this camp mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. Obviously, this is the place that really made me who I am. It taught me those leadership skills. It taught me to think outside the box and really become independent. But it also helps me give back. Being a camper, being someone that I looked up to when I was a kid, to counselors and to staff, I feel like I have that now. I have watched my kids go from the youngest campers to becoming young CITs, which is our counselor in training. And so it's just really special to be able to have, the girls and boys that I raised at camp and then become young staff. So it's just a really important piece in my life.
So you're kind of like a proud mom.
100%. In fact, when I during the interview process, I explained that our counselors are like our parents, our village directors are like our grandparents, and we're here just as a support. So definitely I feel as though, maybe not a parent because I'm kind of young, but definitely like that big sister role. I have campers who are now going to college, actually going to the same college that I went to, University of Central Missouri, and she's texting me and saying, Aaliyah, what do I need for this? Or what should I tell my roommate that she needs to bring, or I need to bring, or things to expect. So it's just really special to be able to share like even those moments with them as well.
So cool. Okay, I know that this is the library, but how does this equal nature?
This building is very special. Well, first off, let me just say that this did not exist when I was a camper.
Are you a little envious?
I am definitely envious. This building, in fact, just a few like summers ago, we had a small library which was everything, which housed our STEM stuff, our foreign language, our spelling bees, and our free read. But this building has really allowed us to have a space that we can do everything, and our campers really feel comfortable being spread out. So we have our STEM lab where we're having our Earth Club, where our 4th and 5th graders really get to go in and do different experiments, where they go to our Buttonbush Pond and collect water samples, and they're analyzing those samples. And then as well as our reading program that's happening in our reading room with our 3rd graders. This summer they're going to be reading the book The Wish Tree, which is a really special book that I got to read, and so I'm really excited for them to get to read that book this summer. And then it's just a time for kids to kind of get out of the sun and really just chill out and read a book and enjoy that time together, where they can kind of just calm down in this space and have some like quiet free time.
So it's like they can read about it and then go touch it and dig into it.
Yes, exactly. So, for example, with the Wish Tree book, it's about a tree. And so what the kids are going to do, they're going to read the book, then they're going to go outside, they're going to find an oak tree, and then they're going to, do different things like that. Or with the STEM lab, they will go and they might find different frogs and beavers and animals and really, figure out what that means to our natural environment and to the environment around camp, and how that kind of plays into our ecosystem at camp.
It is so cool. Rennie, I don't know about you, but I am so envious of all of the fun the kids are going to have here. So thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you to everybody who let us come out and take a tour of this place. I think I'm going to go try to climb that tower.
Thank you, Heidi. There are so many cool places at the camp now. Now, if you've ever been to the camp, you know that it takes many people behind the scenes to plan out each day and each and every activity. The person at Sherwood Forest who coordinates all of these moving parts is Camp Director Rachel. She's here with us tonight. I want to say thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Now, earlier we saw you doing something, the zip line.
Yes.
Are you a bit of a thrill seeker?
I would say I'm a medium thrill seeker.
Okay.
I'm afraid of heights, but I still do it anyway.
Oh, you look good doing it too.
Thanks.
Something I would never do, by the way. How have you been able to stay connected with the campers during the pandemic?
It's definitely been a challenge because so much of what we do is about connecting with kids in person and taking them to camp. But we have really shifted a lot of what we're doing to be virtual, and well, everything that we're doing is virtual. And so I think considering all the challenges of being in the current pandemic and the situation that we're in, we've done a really good job of connecting with kids through different virtual programming. Some of that has included sending kits to kids so that they can do activities along with us over Zoom. Some of it is just having regular check-ins with them in a time when they can connect with each other, because we know that's a huge part of camp that is definitely missing from their lives right now.
That's really cool to hear. Now, 2021 is going to be camp in a bubble, so to speak. So how do you pull this off?
It's extremely complicated. Camp in a Bubble is basically our best chance of making sure that we can run a safe camp program for our kids. The last thing we want is to do anything that puts the health and safety of our kids at risk. And so our Camp Bubble is our way to make sure that doesn't happen. Basically, everyone who comes to camp stays in camp. We're going to be living our entire lives for the season on camp property. That means we're going to be doing a lot more to get creative on what we do, what kinds of activities we provide, especially for our staff who won't be able to leave on their time off. We're going to be, we've got some plans in store for how we're going to make life at camp a bit more exciting and fun for them, so that we can make it through this summer in the healthiest, safest way possible.
Now, we know social distancing is a part of the here and the now, but you've been at a great distance from the kids because they can't be around you anymore. How difficult has that been not to be able to see their faces right here in front of you?
It's been extremely challenging. For all of the staff, both our year-round staff and our seasonal staff, we do the work of camp because we love interacting with the kids. We love going to camp, doing activities with them. And so to not have that interaction has been a major challenge for all of us. I think being able to connect with our kids virtually has really helped. But just like all of us through this past year, we're really craving that human interaction, and we are beyond excited to be able to do that this summer.
Now, I know you are there to help inspire the kids. How do the kids inspire you?
Gosh, I mean, that's a great question. I feel like what I look forward to the most at camp is seeing the unstructured moments for campers. It's really easy to look at when they're doing an activity, if they're going off the zip line, if they're doing arts and crafts, and that learning is awesome. It is really great. But the moments at camp that I look forward to the most is when we're in the dining hall after a meal and suddenly one table breaks out into a village cheer, and then another village chimes in with their cheer. And it's just these moments that spontaneously happen where the kids are having fun and they're just loving being in the moment. And that's what I live for.
It sounds like the kids bond together and form their groups and then collectively have a good time.
Yes, absolutely.
That is great. So here's a big question. How much does it cost for a kid to go to camp?
So it costs about $7,000 to send one kid to camp. That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
But our campers do not pay that much. At most, a camper is going to pay $75 to attend camp. But we recognize that even that amount might not be feasible for a family. And so if families say they can't afford that amount, we ask them to pay whatever works for them. Could be $5, could be $10, it could be nothing. And that's okay, because camp is for every kid, and we never want the financial barrier of attending camp to keep a kid from getting this awesome experience.
Well, camp is truly an opportunity for these kids to change their lives. And so many of these kids come from the inner city. A lot of them have probably never been to a park or things like that, felt the grass underneath their bare feet. How have you seen kids change from day one of camp to that day where they get back on the bus and come home?
Well, the kids who have never been to camp before, there's a lot of apprehension when they get off the bus. They're in this new environment. Like you said, a lot of kids haven't had as much experience being in the outdoors, being immersed the way they are at camp. And so there's fear of the unknown, just like all of us have fear of the unknown. And so we do see a lot of that for our kids who are brand new to camp. But by the end of the summer, the fear is gone. You know, they've spent the summer learning about camp, learning about this environment, seeing their peers who already love camp have fun, and that breaks down those barriers for them. And so we see kids who maybe the first day they were like, there's spiders, I don't know what's happening. And then at the end, they are sad to be leaving, even though there are spiders at camp still. So it is just being in the camp environment really does shift a kid's perspective. I mean, it shifts the perspective of adults and staff too. So it is truly a transformational experience.
Now, I started off by calling you Camp Director Rachel. I'm sure the kids call you Camp Director Rachel. But who are you to them? Are you the director? Are you the friend? Are you the comrade, the mom, the sister? Do you feel like you take on many roles while you're there?
I feel like I am a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, I work really hard to maintain a comrade-like relationship with our kids. I think that when kids see adults treat them with the same respect that they expect adults to treat each other, then it makes them feel like they are worth something. And so I work really hard to make sure that they see me as a friend for sure, as well as someone who's responsible and that they can trust to take care of them.
Wonderful. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming in and joining me for tonight's Blue Jean Ball. And I think just sitting here talking to you, I get a great feeling about the passion that you have for Sherwood Forest. And I know that you're changing the lives of kids, but it sounds like Sherwood Forest has also changed your life.
Absolutely.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Each year at the Blue Jean Bowl, we ask for camperships. I stand on stage and start asking for donations at a certain amount, and guests raise their bidding paddles. Tonight, we can't raise our paddles, but I sit here on behalf of Sherwood Forest to ask you to donate to the programs that support the campers that you heard from tonight and support their friends. It takes community to build a place as special as Sherwood Forest, and tonight, it takes you. Help us provide this year's Camp in a Bubble for the children of St. Louis. Support the incredible, innovative, and creative discoveries they make at camp and the discoveries that they make within themselves. Join with others tonight watching to kindle the love of reading, to spark an interest in STEM, inspire a fondness for nature, and to give our campers the opportunity to discover the leaders within. Donate by going online to give at the website below or by calling the number 314-644-3322. We are coming to the end of our time with you this evening, but we have one special surprise left to share with you. When Heidi was at the camp, she had a chance to talk with someone who has firsthand experience of how the camp life can draw you in. Let's watch.
So you guys, I want to take a second and introduce you to a very special guy here at Sherwood Forest. This is Gary Chastain, and he's been around for a while. Actually, you started as a camper.
As a camper in 1967. I was 12 years old.
And what, they just never kicked you out?
No, I knew I wanted to be a camp counselor when I was like 9, and I knew Sherwood had a leadership training program, so I made sure I got in it, and the rest is history.
So what does this place mean to you?
Well, if you grew up in a family like I did, and a lot of our kids do, you come to a place like this where you meet adults and people that really care about you and show some interest in you, and it's really special, and it lights your life up, and you want to come back every summer because you enjoy it so much.
Gary, a little birdie told me that maybe you're going to retire.
It's true. Yep, it's true.
So what are you going to miss about this place?
Well, obviously the facility, because when you live on a piece of property like this, it's, I'm going to go from 500 acres and lakes and streams to a city street in St. Louis. So that's going to be a big change, but mostly it's the people and the staff, because that's the true pleasure, seeing the kids and the staff that work with the kids. Yeah. That's always a lot of fun to see. And
well, speaking of those kids, is there one story, is there one kid that just is always top of mind?
Well, it goes back a long ways. When I was a counselor, when I was like 17 or 18, and there was a kid that came to camp, and he was ornery. He didn't want to be here, but we made a connection, and he learned how to swim. And I'll never forget the look in his eyes when he got his swim card, saying that he was a swimmer. He had learned how to swim, and he was so happy. And it was something I'd never seen in a kid before, because I was kind of a kid myself. Mm-hmm. And to see how much that accomplishment meant to that guy was something else. And when he drove away on the bus, his eyes were still staring at me as he went down the road. And it kind of touched me to know that, that kid's going to know how to swim the rest of his life. He's going to remember that. He's going to remember where it happened. And I kind of remember that, and I'm sure he does too. So.
Well, it is great to meet you, and thank you for all you've done for Sherwood Forest.
All right, thank you.
Rennie, back to you.
Congratulations, Gary, but I want to tell you something. Do you realize that I was 3 years old when you started at the camp? I know you will be missed at Sherwood Forest. We want to say thank you to everyone who supported Sherwood Forest this evening. Because of you, children from low-income households and under-resourced communities will be able to experience camp this summer. Once again, the sounds of children laughing, playing, swimming, hiking will fill the acres of Sherwood Forest. We know our campers have had a rough year due to isolation and virtual learning amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Urban poverty dramatically compounds these factors. The benefits of camp are strengthened by the genuine connections they form with our staff, who work to create a welcoming and safe environment so that campers develop a sense of belonging and acceptance. Today, you have a chance to make a difference in the life of a child right here in St. Louis. Please make your gift to that link below. And before we leave you tonight, we want to thank the following who made this event possible. Our Blue Jean Bowl committee, who worked tirelessly on this event. our Sherwood Forest Board of Directors, the Sherwood Forest staff, and once again, our sponsors. Our trio sponsor, Buckeye International, our counselor sponsors, Alliance Credit Union, Bayer Designs, Commerce Bank, Lewis Rice, Midwest Regional Bank, our campfire sponsors, Kerber, Eck and Breckel LLP, SF Shannon Management, Virtual IT, our wine sponsors, Southern Glazers Wine and Spirits, and all those who made this evening possible. We could not have done it without you. Sherwood Forest continues to support the children in our area from low-income households and underserved communities in Missouri and in Illinois who live at or below the federal poverty line. To learn more about Sherwood Forest, visit www.sherwoodforeststl.org or visit us on Facebook, Twitter, or on Instagram. Playing us out tonight with some well-known Sherwood Forest Camp songs is Tim Carey of the Sherwood Forest facility staff. Thank you to everybody out there, and have a great night.
If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I am gone. 'Cause you can hear that whistle blow 100 miles. 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear that whistle blow 100 miles. Oh, Lord, I'm one, Lord, I'm two, Lord, I'm three, oh, Lord, I'm four, Lord, I'm 500 miles from my home. Away from home, away from home, away from home, away from home. Lord, I'm 500 miles away from home. Got no shirt upon my back, got no penny to my name. Lord, I can't go home this old way. This old way, this old way, this old way, oh, this old way. Lord, I can't go home this old way. If you miss the train I'm on, you will know that I'm gone. 'Cause you can hear that whistle blow 100 miles. 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles, 100 miles. You can hear that whistle blow 100 miles. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. Yee-haw! She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. Yee-haw! She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. And we'll all come out to greet her when she comes. Yeah, we'll all come out to greet her when she comes. Oh, we'll all come out to greet her. We'll all come out to greet her. We'll all come out to greet her when she comes. We'll be eating chicken dumplings when she comes. We'll be eating chicken dumplings when she comes. We'll be eating chicken dumplings. We'll be eating chicken and dumplings. We'll be eating chicken and dumplings when she comes. Oh, she's coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. Day is done, gone the sun. From the lakes, from the fields, from the sky, all is well, sweetly rest, the moon is high, and good night.